You're lying in bed at 2 a.m., running the same conversation through your head for the fourth time. Not because you enjoy it, not because it's productive, but because some part of your brain genuinely believes that if you think about it one more time, you'll finally get it right. That's not anxiety. That's not weakness. That's a guard dog that never learned to stand down. Here's what the self-help world tells you about overthinking. It's a bad habit, a cognitive distortion, something to fix with breathing exercises and gratitude journals. And for a lot of people, that framing is almost insultingly thin, because the truth is, if you've been a chronic overthinker for most of your life, the thinking isn't the problem, it's the solution. A solution your brain designed a long time ago for a threat that may no longer exist, but that your nervous system has never been fully convinced is gone. Meet someone like Maya, mid-30s, successful by every external measure, the kind of person who sends 3 drafts of a text before hitting send. She'd been told her whole life she was too much in her head. She tried meditation. She tried therapy a little. She tried just deciding to stop overthinking, which is a bit like deciding to stop bleeding. What nobody had ever told Maya was that her overthinking had a logic to it, a purpose. And until she understood what it was actually protecting her from, no breathing exercise on earth was going to touch it. The brain doesn't waste energy. That's the first thing to understand. Everything it does, every loop, every spiral, every replay of a conversation you had 6 years ago has a function. Evolutionary psychologists call this the negativity bias. Your brain is disproportionately alert to threats because the ancestors who weren't got eaten. But chronic overthinking isn't just general threat scanning. It's something more specific. Think of it like a very old alarm system installed in a house during a burglary. The alarm was necessary then, accurate, even. But decades later, it goes off when someone opens a window, when a car backfires, when the cat walks past the sensor at 3 a.m. The house is safe. The alarm doesn't know that. What the alarm is usually protecting you from is not what's happening now. It's the echo of what happened then. For a lot of overthinkers, the origin story involves some version of unpredictability. A parent whose moods shifted without warning. A childhood where love felt conditional on performance. An environment where being wrong, or caught off guard, or emotionally exposed had real consequences. In those conditions, the brain learned something adaptive and smart. If I think hard enough, far enough ahead, I can prevent bad things from happening to me. Overthinking, in this light, isn't a flaw in your character. It's evidence that you were paying close attention to a world that required it. There's a concept in psychology called hypervigilance. It's most commonly discussed in the context of trauma, but it exists on a spectrum, and you don't have to have experienced anything dramatic to develop it. It's essentially the nervous system running a continuous background scan. Overthinking is that scan made conscious. It's the part of you that rehearses difficult conversations before they happen, that reads tone in a 2-word text, that can feel the shift in a room before anyone else registers it. That's not a disorder. That's a finely tuned instrument. The problem isn't the instrument. The problem is that it's playing in a concert hall when the war it was built for is over and no one gave it the signal to stop. And here's where it gets more complicated, because the thinking itself starts to feel like control, even when it's painful, even when it's exhausting. The loop provides something important, the sensation that you are doing something, that you are not passive, that the bad thing, whatever it is, will not catch you by surprise because you have already imagined it in every possible configuration. There's a strange, dark comfort in that. I know this personally. I spent years mistaking my own overthinking for diligence, for caring deeply. And in some ways it was, but it was also a way of staying permanently braced for an impact that kept not coming, which meant I never fully exhaled. Here's what the video has actually been building toward, and it's not what you might expect. Most content about overthinking promises to help you stop doing it, but that's the wrong goal entirely. You can't negotiate with a guard dog by telling it to be less vigilant. You have to show it, slowly and repeatedly, that the threat it was trained on is no longer present. The real work isn't cognitive. It's not about interrupting the spiral or reframing the thought. It's about going underneath the thinking, to the fear the thinking was designed to outrun, and staying there long enough to let your nervous system update its files. The question isn't how do I stop overthinking, it's what would I have to feel if I stopped? Because for a lot of people, underneath the thinking is grief or helplessness, or the terrifying freedom of not being in control. And the mind, very generously, very protectively, decided, I'll think instead. I'll keep thinking. That feels safer. So the next time you catch yourself at 2 a.m. running the same thought for the 5th time, maybe try something different before reaching for a coping strategy. Don't fight it, just get curious. Ask it, what are you trying to make sure doesn't happen to me? You might be surprised what answers back. Not a glitch, not a flaw. Something that once loved you enough to stay awake all night so you didn't have to face the dark alone.